Oh, you poor, poor thing of a bride. You went through all that effort of inviting all those guests, yet not a single one of them is going to be showing up. How does that feel for you? Please tell me. What? I'm sure it's not only heartbreaking for you, but very embarrassing as well, right? I'm so sorry about that, Raven. I stole all your guests from you. But this was bound to happen to you, right? After all, people would much rather come to a beautiful woman's wedding like mine than to some ugly woman's wedding. I'm not really sure what all of this is about right now, so could you please explain it to me? I guess there aren't any of my guests here yet, but they should all be here soon, right? Huh? Oh, not a single person is going to be coming to your wedding. Everyone from the office is coming to my wedding today, so there won't even be a single person on your guest list attending today. What? Wah, wah, wah. This is what happens when an ugly woman like you tries to be cheeky and pull a wedding. Even though you went through all that trouble to make those plans up, not a single person will be coming to see you today, so this will leave a blemish on your past for sure. You've been going on about how nobody will be coming to my wedding, right? So does that mean today you'll be having your wedding as well, Sky? That's correct. I thought this would be fun to do, so I went and made sure to schedule mine on the same day as yours. All with the hope of ruining your wedding for you. What? So you're intentionally trying to ruin my wedding? Honestly, I was wanting to have my wedding before yours, but not a single place had openings any sooner than today. So in the end, I ended up having to choose the same day as you. But of course, out of all the people we both invited, not a single one of them would choose to go to your wedding over mine. And there was no way I would have my wedding any later than yours, because I'm not coming in second place to some ugly monkey. I truly thought that you, of all people, would stay single for the rest of your life. But then you came into the office talking about how you would have a wedding coming up. That got me all worked up, and I had to hustle to make sure I'd find myself a man to marry. But of course, since I'm so good looking, that wasn't too hard for me at all. Before I even had a chance to call out to anyone, I had already found myself the perfect man to make mine forever. That's your reason for why you're getting married and on the same day as me? And you've gone and invited everyone from work as well? I wanted to make sure you didn't get ahead of me in any way, so there you go. Now, being the gross woman that you are, shut your mouth and let this happen. I'm sorry for stealing all your guests from that wedding you worked so hard on, but I'm sure the groom will be just as ugly, if not more ugly than you, so nobody will want to see any of that. Are you not aware of who I'm getting married to? What? I'm having this wedding with Mr. Gardner, the department manager. You were going on and on and on at the office about how attractive he was and everything. So it's a little messed up of you to call him ugly now just because he's getting married to me. Wait a second, please. You're getting married to... Huh? To Mr. Gardner? That's right. I'm kind of used to you always calling me ugly and such, but I'm not okay with you calling my husband ugly now. Drake is not at all ugly, and even you acknowledged that in the office plenty of times. We both know how good he looks and that he's a cool guy. Huh? Did you just call him your husband then? There's no way Mr. Gardner would ever have a reason for getting married to an ugly duckling like you. And besides, he's a married man. He's so deeply in love with her that no matter how hard I tried flirting with him, he didn't bat an eye toward me. So how the hell could a man like him be getting married to you? That wife he's so deeply in love with is me. Drake and I have actually been married for 5 years now. Huh? What did you just say? The only people within the company that knew about us being married were his higher-ups. So don't take this too hard on yourself for not knowing anything. Actually, I kind of was making sure you didn't find out about how him and I have been married. Huh? I mean, Sky, ever since you moved into this office with me, you've had your eyes set on him, right? You also have been calling me ugly ever since joining us and always go on about how I could never get married. I thought that if you found out about me being married to him of all people, things would only become worse regarding how you treat me. That's why for plenty of years now, both him and I have done everything we could to make sure you'd stay in the dark. Wait. I have no idea what you're going on about. The man I've been after all this time, Mr. Gardner, is your husband? He's the only man I've ever flirted with that hasn't even bothered to look at me. That's why I gave up on him and went after another man. You're telling me the reason he's never bothered with me is because he's married to the most ugly woman at work? The most ugly? And you're the most insulting. Then tell me, why are you guys only deciding to have your wedding now? If you guys got married to one another 5 years ago, then why have the wedding now? At the time, neither him nor I really cared at all about the theatrical things like the wedding or the honeymoon. We both chose to get ourselves a house that we really loved first before dumping any of our money into those things. But recently, he's really been wanting to see what I'd look like in a wedding dress. So we decided in the end that we'd host the wedding on our anniversary, which just so happens to be today. You're having the wedding on your anniversary? It's funny how you were just going on about not wanting me to get married any earlier than you were, right? It's been 5 years now, so you're 5 years late. What the hell? Who do you think you are laughing at me? It's starting to sound like you find my situation pretty funny now. Well, that's because the situation you've gotten yourself into is pretty funny. I've been married for years now and will have plenty of people coming today for my wedding. What? Now I have to get back to the dressing room because Drake and I have a wedding to give. I hope both you and I can have a very nice wedding today.
I just got my parents to the hotel they'll be staying at tonight. Both of them were so happy to be with us today and said that the wedding was amazing.
I just got my parents back to their house as well. I think those two were even more excited to see their daughter in a dress than you were to see your wife in one. They took so many photos on their phones of us that they have to go back and delete some to make room again.
I'm so happy that both of our families had a great time today. And seeing you today, looking that beautiful, was the best thing I've seen. Ever. But sorry about this morning, Raven. I'm sure you were shocked by what Sky was saying.
I've told you already not to worry about what she said. You knew about how she was planning to try and ruin this wedding and keep that a secret as to not worry me, right?
The fact that everyone in the office told me about what was going to happen really helped. Everyone was a little confused about what to do today because of those 2 invitations, so they came to me looking for answers. So, lucky for that, I was able to tell them all to still come to our wedding and avoid Sky's at all costs. I know that a few people went to her wedding, but even they chose to come here right after to say hi to us and see how happy we both looked.
And luckily for that, we were able to avoid having our wedding ruined by her.
I wanted to make sure you wouldn't have any worries today, and only smile the way I like you to. I really am thankful for what everyone did today. I was a bit worried myself that not everyone would get the notice and would end up going to Sky's wedding instead. But pretty much everyone did come on time, and that's such a blessing for you and I.
From what I heard, those that did go to Sky's wedding only stayed around for 30 minutes before coming to ours. They all said congrats to her and then immediately turned around and came here. I'm sure Sky may be a little upset right now.
Now, she can get as mad as she wants, but this all happened to her because of what she had done. What did she think she was doing, trying to get everyone to go to her wedding in order to ruin ours? What a sore loser she is. Also, I heard from a few of the people in the office that when she handed out the invitations last minute, she said they only needed to stop by for a little bit, so she was kind of already setting herself up for failure.
Really? Well, then she has no reason to get upset with anyone but herself.
Now, I know that you and I were able to have a great wedding today, but she really did have people worried, including myself. When we get back to the house, let's you and I open a couple beers and celebrate.
You've really done it now after what happened yesterday. Ruining my frickin' wedding like that? And marrying the man of my dreams 5 years ago like that? Give me back the love of my life right now. What are you talking about, Sky? You only met Drake a few years ago, so he's not been the love of your life. And don't you have a husband yourself now? I heard you got married to a very impressive lawyer. He is very impressive and has lots of money, and I'd have to say he's perfect as my husband. But I am talking about our manager now. The only reason I chose this lawyer is because Mr. Gardner never ever looked at me and made me his wife. So you've really been wanting Drake that badly? Why did you get to end up being the wife of that man? I thought that if he had the audacity to ignore me all the time, then that meant he had a really gorgeous-looking wife. I thought that he was married to one of the most important people on this planet, a celebrity, if you will. But instead, it turns out he's married to one of my co-workers, and just to make matters worse, the worst-looking woman in the office. I will not let you get away with this. Say that all you'd like, Sky, but we've been married for 5 years now and just had our wedding. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to make sure to steal that husband of yours no matter what. What? Steal him from me? If I don't, then it's going to look like I've gone and lost to an ugly whore. Ever since I was in middle school, I've been able to get my hands on whatever man I've liked. So I'm going to make you taste the kind of power I have. Let's calm down here. You need to hold your horses there for a sec, Sky. Before you go and start trying to steal someone's husband, how about you think about the position you're really in? You yourself just got married to your husband yesterday, right? You have a man now, so how are you going to go about stealing another woman's husband? I'll think about that after I have your husband. I can just divorce my husband and take Mr. Gardner after that. Or I can just continue to date him while acting like I'm still in love with my current husband. Honestly, I'm okay with anything as long as I get to have your husband. Why are you such a bitch, Sky? I can be a bitch all I want because us pretty girls can get away with anything we want. And even if people start to find out I've been cheating on my husband with yours, my husband is a lawyer and is love-struck by me. There's no way he'd want to divorce me over a little bit of cheating anyway. Well, he's wanting that divorce. Huh? I'm actually with your husband right now. And I've been showing him every little thing you've been saying to me this whole time. So guess what? He wants to divorce you now. Wait a second. Why are you with my husband right now? Today he should be at work and so should you. He was a bit worried about his wife, so he came out to see Drake and I. He's been so worried about the way you've been acting that he needed to come and talk to 2 of the people you work with about you. How wonderful of a husband you have, Sky. Too bad you're letting him go. What? From what he's told us, you were acting all high and mighty yesterday morning, thinking you were doing the right thing by marrying him last minute in order to beat me. Also telling him that you had planned to steal all my guests in order to ruin my wedding. Well, he wasn't too happy to hear all that from you and instead started to feel really concerned after the wedding was over with. He just told my husband that he can even use his position as a manager for this company to take you to court for trying to ruin his wedding. Your husband's face is very red right now because of how upset he is with you. Excuse me? It was tough for both myself and Drake to explain to him what's been going on with you inside the office and outside of it, but your husband is a very level-headed individual. He listened to everything we had to say to him without saying a single word. And he knows that neither of us are to blame for your behavior. We even went and showed him the texts you were sending me on the day of the wedding. And he began to apologize to me for all the rude things you were saying. He even got on his hands and knees and apologized for your actions. Hold the hell up. You went and told every little detail to that man? And you showed him all the texts I sent to you? And that was the easiest way to get him to understand what was going on with you. I just got a text from him. He's telling me the divorce is happening. He may have been love-struck by you, but that didn't last long at all after he realized what a child you really are. He's even gone and told us that he hates women like you, thinking you can do whatever you want because of your looks. What? My husband had also been recording a lot of the things you say to him at the office. All kinds of things, like you flirting with him and talking poorly about others in the office to make yourself look better. All of that was recorded and more. Even those times where Drake would obviously say no to your advances, but you'd just keep pushing and pushing until you forced him to get up and leave work for the day. What? My husband really knows how to cover all his corners when dealing with risks inside the company. Who knew all those audio recordings would really come in handy today? So then this means my husband knows about everything? About all the times I tried so hard to get with Mr. Gardner? And about all of those love letters I've been placing on his desk for the past year? There's also the things like you throwing away all those lunches I made for him, and then you going to him during lunchtime and trying to force him to eat the lunch you'd make for him. There are even some audio recordings here that I never heard about, and they've really got me riled up. Wait, at the time... Consider this the end of your super short marriage, Sky. So please, enjoy what talks are to come after your husband gets back home to you. How could you do this to me? Because of you, we really are going to be getting a divorce now. I thought that after a week had gone, things were getting nowhere, but it seems your husband really wants that divorce, huh? Please let your husband know my husband and I say congrats. Shut the hell up! This was my impressive and rich lawyer that I finally got for myself. We even had our wedding, and only days later he's wanting a divorce and is going to get it. Why is this happening to me? You're really asking why now? The reason for that divorce is because of your toxic behavior, so I think that you're getting exactly what you were asking for now. Don't start acting like this was anyone else's fault. Huh? No matter how you think of this, it's all your fault. You thought that as an ugly woman, you could be married, and you were the one that went and married my man of all people and caused this to happen to me. Yet you're going to keep on acting like none of this is your fault and isn't affecting you in any way? You have no right to act that way. Now that you've done this to me, I'm going to do the same thing to you. You divorce Drake right now. No, thank you, Sky. Unlike you, my relationship with Drake is very strong, and we are both very happy with one another. Shut your frickin' mouth. I'm telling you to get that damn divorce, so do it. If you don't, then things will be unfair for me. How come I have to be the one to get a divorce while you, of all people, get to be happily married to a man like him? I will not let that happen. Would you calm down already? Drake and I have been thinking about having kids, but if this is the way they act, then I think we'll just get a cat instead. All that yelling isn't going to get you anywhere and will only land you in the ER. Shut up! Don't talk back to me like that, you ugly whore! You give your husband to me right now! I know that even a man like him wants a beauty like me to become his wife, so hurry up and give me Mr. Gardner! I know that right now he's regretting ever getting married to an ugly freak like you.
I'm not regretting it at all. If anything, I'm extremely thankful to have her. Raven is not only important to me, but is also the most beautiful woman I've ever laid my eyes upon.
What?
I think it's time for you to stop throwing a temper tantrum, you big baby. I've made it so clear to you many times now that I'm not into you at all and have a wife of my own. Yet for some reason, that never seems to mean anything to you, and you continue to try harder and harder. When are you gonna give the hell up?
Is this you, Mr. Gardner? Oh, Mr. Gardner, I really, really love you. You have a handsome face and do your work so well that I would love to make you my husband. I think that someone as outstanding as you would look perfect as my husband. Don't you want to have yourself a gorgeous wife?
I already have one. She has a very good posture, and her body's balance is something most models would die for. Actually, a nut job like you would never work well beside me, considering your character is more rotten than that of a jack-o'-lantern on Christmas Day. So it's a huge no from me.
What?
You said it yourself. I have a handsome face, work very well, I'm a nice guy to be around. And that means someone like me would most definitely not look great with an ugly woman like you.
What? Wait. Did you just call me ugly? The most beautiful woman in the company, ugly? The manager called me ugly?
How many times are you going to say that? I don't get how you can keep on calling yourself the most beautiful when 90% of the office thinks you're not only physically ugly, but mentally as well. Every single thing about you is disturbing, and it makes even the most kind people in the office shiver.
Huh? Why would you say so many horrible things about me? I am meant for you. A beauty like me has told you so many times now that I love you, yet you keep being so rude.
Who do you think you are saying that you're meant for me? Didn't you just marry another man like a week ago?
I only married him because he was second on my list. Really, I want to be with you and only you. I always wanted to be with you, and I'll leave him for you. I really want to marry you because you and I are meant to be.
Well, could you please tell me who is your third in line? What about your fourth? Or fifth?
What?
Sky, I'm going to change character for a second here and be your manager now. You should no longer come back to the office, alright? Look, someone like you who never gets any work done and just goes around the office all day talking to men, not something this company allows. So you're being fired now.
What? Wait a second, please. You said I'm being fired? And have been talking with men all this time at work?
Don't try playing dumb with me, alright? This morning, I had 3 women come in, claiming to be your boyfriend's wife.
3 women? At the same time?
One of them is a customer to the company. Another works at a hair salon down the street. It seems like you've been going out with all kinds of people's husbands now, huh? And let's not talk about all the time you take off from work to go out and fool around. There's already more than enough evidence of that. And those 3 wives made sure to let me know about it.
Hold on, please,
And in order to hide the fact that you've been taking such long breaks some days and not coming to work on other days, you've been forcing colleagues in the office to finish up your work for you. I'm sorry to say, there's nothing else this company can do for you besides fire you.
No way. Oh, please, just wait a minute, Mr. Gardner. I can't be fired right now. I'm being divorced by my husband right now, and he's asking for me to pay him back for the whole wedding we had. If I lose my job now, I won't be able to carry on.
Don't get so upset there, Sky. Someone as tenacious and stubborn as you can do anything. You're like a cockroach, and no matter how tough things seem to get, you'll find a way.
A cockroach?
Now that you're all up to speed on current affairs, I'm going to start working on the documents I need to hand in for your termination. This also means you're never to come around my wife and I again. If for some reason you still don't listen to me and do show your face again around us, then I'll have to take further action. Not as your ex-manager, but as Raven's husband. And you really don't want to experience that.
After everything that happened, my husband went and handed in the termination documents to HR, and Sky was officially fired from the company. Right after that happened, she then went back to her ex-husband, the lawyer, and begged for him to help her out by protecting her a little longer. She cried and cried and cried, saying she'd be his one and only, but he didn't listen to her and completely turned her away. Then, out of some strange form of luck, he was later seen fighting her in the courtroom as those wives of the men that Sky had been going out with made him their lawyer. Having all the evidence they needed made all the court cases go by smoothly, and all 3 of them were able to get a settlement from her. Because of all the debt, she had to go into borrowing money for all those settlements and the money she owed her ex for the wedding fees. Sky had to leave town and move back home with her parents, where she's now working at a dirty little dive bar.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Are you trying to make me look bad by not inviting me? You could have at least invited me to come and see your fiancé before the both of you get married, right? Huh? I heard about what's going on with you through the grapevine page. You're not planning on getting married, right? And just recently you had the family get together to see him with you, right? Yet you decided to be a complete jerk after not inviting your own little sister to see him. I never thought about you as such a cold person, okay? Until today. Why are you coming to me with all of this right now? First of all, what makes you think I'd invite my sister after she cut ties to me? Are you still going on about how you and I don't talk anymore? It was only you that chose to cut ties with me and have since then always ignored me in every way. Are you actually going to be this upset with me taking your ex-boyfriend from you to the point you have to act like a baby the rest of your life about it? Huh? What did you say? I wasn't doing anything wrong by taking him away. I just wanted to have a little fun, and he was the fun I was willing to take from my own sister. I get that you want to be upset about that still, but how about you blame your crappy ex-boyfriend for that one? I was just caught in his crossfire is all. He was already looking for a new woman, and I was right there at the time. So be mad at him, all right? What is wrong with you and this idea that you can just get away with something like that? I am aware that he is stupid for what he's done, and I'm pissed about that, but you don't just get a free pass for something like that. Hearing from you yourself now that you stole him from me all for a little fun just disgusts me now. I think it's only fair that I asked you to stay the hell away from me. What? And it wasn't just that you stole him from me, but you got pregnant from him as well. I was at the point in my relationship with him that I really wanted to marry him. Yet when you should have been coming to me with a massive apology, you started talking about how we should celebrate you having his baby. Do you have any idea how badly you hurt me back then by acting like that? What are you going on about? It's making me laugh. Did I really say something like that? It may have been years ago now, but no matter how many years it's been, I am never forgiving you for that. I don't ever want to see your face again, and after today, I don't plan on ever talking to you again, and I mean it this time. Then, does this mean that you're not going to even invite me to your wedding? Not even inviting your own little sister to your wedding? Are you really sure you want to do that to me? I've already explained what kind of monster you are to my man and his parents. And they are all very happy with my decision to leave you out of my life. So you are never going to be meeting with him. Now, since you should understand that, don't ever talk to me again.
Hey, Paige, the two of us, I think it's time we both started working on being a thing again. Now that I've had a little time to think on it, you and I should be getting married.
Huh? What is going on with me having to talk to both of you in one day now? I just had to talk with Alyssa, and now you?
What? You spoke with Elisa a little bit ago.
Yeah, just a little bit ago. She told me she never heard about my wedding and that she was upset with me not inviting her to see my fiancé. What makes her think she can say things like that when we cut ties long ago?
What? Hold on a second. Paige, do you have plans to get married to another man now? You have a man like me around, yet you plan to marry another man?
Excuse me?
There's no way that's allowed to happen. You are going to get back together with me. You should be happy that you got this text from me saying I want to get back together with you. Paige, you should be getting married to me.
Shut the hell up, Kurt. Who do you think wants to get back together with you right now? And by the way, don't you already have a kid with Alyssa? Don't frickin' ask me to get back together with you when you have a new responsibility now.
Now listen to me, Paige. To be honest with you, her and I don't actually have a kid. All of that was a lie to get you to let me have her at that time.
Huh?
That chick was trying to take advantage of me. She made that lie up to make me responsible for her. And that was her plan of getting you to leave me. And that changed my mind and made me want to marry her. But right after her and I married, she told me the baby was never a thing.
Is that so?
But I never thought she would actually lie to me, and I believed that she really would have my baby. I only really wanted to be with her all this time because of that baby, but when I really did learn that it was a farce, I asked to divorce her. My parents both told me that if I didn't stay with her and take care of her until the end, that they'd be cutting ties with me. But I don't want to be with her anymore.
So it's not just that she lost the baby. In reality, she was never carrying a baby to begin with?
Yeah, that's right. And once I found all of that out, it was over for her. I learned that she hated always being in second place to you. And that's why she wanted to steal one of your boyfriends from you. So she made that lie up in order to break us apart and get me to go after her.
And so she made up a lie saying that she was carrying your baby? What tenacity.
When I asked her about why she did all of that to you and I, she just started to laugh. You found out, huh? That's all she had to say about it.
That girl is really something.
It was the worst for me. She acted like I was just some game for her to play. If it hadn't been for that lie, you and I would have never had to break up back then. So hey, Paige, let's you and I get back together. The only person I've ever loved had only been you, okay?
You really think I'm going to believe such crap like that? Even if she didn't lie about carrying your baby, you and I would have been finished.
What?
I can totally sympathize with the fact that she lied to you to get you to play along with her. But you have no right trying to make yourself out as the victim in all of this. Whether it was true that she had your baby or not, you still cheated on me with her. I don't care if it happened to be a one-night thing between you two, or if it had been going on for a while. The truth is that you slept with her, and that's enough to get me to leave you.
I can see that, but the woman I truly love is only you, Paige. Please, let's you and I get back together. If you don't, my life is going to be over with. If I can't fix things with you, I won't have anywhere to go, and I won't ever be able to get that company.
Huh? Company?
when I found out that it really was all a lie, I divorced her and got away. And from there I went back to my parents' place, but they told me they had had enough of me. I tried so hard to explain the situation to them, but they wouldn't forgive me for what had happened. And that's when they told me that they would never let me run their company either in the future.
Now that you mention it, you're the son of a CEO, right?
It's not that huge of a company though, okay? But at this point, I won't have anything left for me. The only way to get my life back is to get back into my family. I've been going back to their house night after night, now crying and begging for them to forgive me. And to my surprise, it seems they started to lighten up to me a bit. They came to the door just the other day and told me that I needed to get married.
Married?
They said that if I wanted their forgiveness, I needed to find another woman to get married again. They then stated that depending on who the woman was that I married, they'd rethink things about me. They want for me to have a wife and house again, and said that if I can make that happen, they'll rethink letting me have their company.
I see. And that's your reason for wanting me to get back together with you? You want me only as a tool to help you get back on your parents' good side so that you can get their company?
Now, you don't have to say it like that, okay? If I'm able to become the next owner of that company, I'll be able to treat you to a lot of things. You won't even have to work or anything like that. I just want you to be by my side, and that's all I ask. I want to make things up to you for having cheated on you way back then.
Well, thank you for that offer. But please, go out and find yourself another woman who might respect you a little bit more.
What?
Find a woman that will take good care of you and stay by your side as you treat them with all your parents' company's money. I'm sure there will be a lot of women that would love to marry you if you started to tell them they'd never have to work again.
I've already tried that, but nobody's bitten. It appears that most people in the city around our age already know about how I ended up going for my ex's younger sister mid-relationship. I've tried so hard to get women to just listen to my side of the story, but they won't have it. So please, you're the only woman left for me. Please, get married to me, Paige.
No, thank you, Kurt. If you're not able to find any woman in this city willing to marry you, then go try searching in another city far away from here. Or what about this? Why don't you just remarry my lying little sister and rekindle what love you had for her before?
I can't.
I'm going to go now. Hey, Alyssa? What the hell is this? Were you able to get the wedding invitation? When I heard that you'd be getting married, I just knew I had to get up and do something myself. I'm inviting you to my wedding, so make sure you RSVP and come. I'm not talking about your wedding, but about the man you plan on marrying. The man's name that's written on here looks a whole lot like someone I know. The exact same, actually. Ah, you already saw that? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm going to be getting married to your fiancé. I was proposed to by him. Huh? He did it just as I was starting to think about stealing him from you. I can't believe he'd contact me asking for my hand in marriage the moment I started to think that I'd go after him. Perfect timing. Hold on a minute, Alyssa. Did you think you'd be able to get another one of my partners again? I did. After all, it's really fun to do. I just love looking at your reaction the moment you hear about me taking one of your most valuable things, and that being the men you like. You always turn red like a lobster and begin to sob and scream. It's all so hilarious. Watching you go ballistic and lose your mind is one of my favorite pastimes, Paige. What kind of messed up hobby is that? I know that you've always had a great time in the past taking my clothes and toys from me just to laugh at me crying. But you taking men from me gives you that same kind of joy? This has seriously all been on purpose then? It sure has. I loved taking things like your dolls from you and coloring all over them with markers to make you scream, and take your clothing from you only to return them all covered in mud and crap. It's so much fun watching you go off like an insane person when you watch me ruin all your most important things. So that's your reason for taking Kurt from me back in the day? And now I have your fiancé. And by the way, he is such an outgoing man. I haven't even met him in person, yet he's already started by asking me to marry him over the phone, and in such a loving and romantic way too, which is hard to say given he did say it over text, but he still made it seem so beautiful. Wait, you haven't even met him in person yet? He told me that you were trying so hard to keep the thought of me out of his head in any way possible. But when he went to Mom and Dad's house with you, he saw a few pictures of me there. And so that's what got him to immediately start falling for me, and he spent day after day working with all his power to find my phone number. Are you kidding me? And so, with all that being said, I am once again going to be stealing another important partner of yours. And not only will I be stealing him from you, but I've already been proposed to him, and I will be getting married before even you two could have your wedding. My groom is going to be your fiancé. I'll make sure to have a seat made up for you at the wedding where you can watch the two of us get married with the best view possible. I got married 2 years ago, though. Huh? So I'm telling you right now that my man cannot marry you. It's not allowed in our state to marry 2 different people, so I don't think you'll be able to get away with it. Actually, he's sitting right next to me right now and is telling me he's never met you or talked to you. He's a bit freaked out right now. He keeps asking why he's going to have to marry you while pacing around the room. Wait a sec. You said you two got married 2 years ago? What are you talking about? There's a rumor going around about you getting married soon, right? And you only just had the family meet with him a few weeks ago, right? I'm not sure who you're hearing all these rumors from, but those are all just rumors. If you'd like to hear the real news, the next one getting married will be my husband's little brother. We did happen to have a family meeting with him a few weeks ago, but I was only with him and his family because I'm his older brother's wife. Are you kidding me? So in other words, you had the wrong idea all along. You took that rumor for fact and jumped to conclusions way too quickly. So, you really did get married 2 years ago? But I happened to get a text from him directly. It had to have been from your fiancé, Robert, right? He told me that he realized just how beautiful I am and that he wants to marry me. He then told me that he'd break things off with you before your wedding and come for me. If you can't believe me, then I'll send you his messages as proof. Are you sure you weren't just confused about all of that as well? What? Just like with the rumor, you might have started to make things up in your head and made yourself think that the man you're talking to is my Robert. I mean, people can say they are whoever they want to be, right? So that guy might have just changed his name to match my husband's in some way to get you to go after him. They would never do that to me, right? I mean, you haven't even met them in person, right? So you seriously can't start thinking that they're my husband until you've at least met them in person, okay? Wait. What are you going on about? I'm really scared now. If he's not really your fiancé, then who the hell is he? You think I'd know who he is? How about you text him and ask? This is the worst. Just as I was starting to think it was some idiot, it turned out to be Kurt. He lied about being your man just so he could get me to say yes about marrying him. So it turns out it was Kurt that lied to you about who he was? I have no idea what's going on here now. What the hell does he want with me? I was already in the works of handing in my marriage forms and everything to Robert, and he's going to tell me that he'd been lying about being Robert? I was feeling so good thinking that I'd once again been able to take another one of your men. But because of that idiot, I've lost all that happiness. Hold on now, what do you mean you've sent in those marriage papers? He asked me to do that for him. He told me that in order to get married to him as soon as possible to send in the marriage papers. That's why I got in my car and went over to the city office as quickly as I could to sign the papers and hand them in. It cost me my money to do all of that as well. I'm pissed now knowing that all of that work to get those papers filled out was a waste. My God. So this is it for you then, huh? Huh? What do you mean this is it for me? I'd say you're better off calling the city office and asking them about what you just done. I think you might have just filled out the forms to marry Kurt instead of Robert. Huh? Why? What are you talking about? Stop talking to me and go call the office and ask them. You'll learn a lot more from them. I heard about it all from Alyssa. You lied to her and got her to marry you?
And because of what you recommended to me, I'll finally be able to get my parents' company. Thanks for that one, Paige.
What?
You told me before to just remarry your little sister, right? Well, I took that into consideration and followed through. I thought that if even you were telling me you didn't want to marry me, then my only choice would be getting back with Elisa again. But ever since her and I got divorced, she's been ignoring all my texts and everything. So I went ahead and created a new number and labeled myself as your fiance, and that's how I got her to bite.
So you did all that to get her to sign the marriage forms? I feel like that right there is like what she did to you in the first place that pissed you off. Lying to you about her baby, and now you've lied to her about your identity.
Who cares? I was able to trick her into signing the paperwork, and now my parents are pleased with me. I'll be able to get that company from them and be the next CEO.
But you do understand how Alyssa must feel now.
Huh? She did the same thing to me, so who actually cares?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, while you and her have fun with yet another mess, let me just tell you that I've been married now for 2 years.
What? Is that right?
So with that, can we just agree to focus on ourselves now and not get involved with one another anymore? You and Alyssa can go right ahead and enjoy your second time being married to one another, and I can go back to focusing on my family. Paige, what should I do? I'm married to Kurt again. They've already completed all the processing for the marriage, and I can't have them revoke it now. Well, you did happen to sign it yourself in person there, so I don't think they'd revoke it without a really good reason from you anyway. And what makes all this worse is Kurt is being a real dick right now. He's not apologizing to me whatsoever for lying about him not being Robert. All he keeps telling me now is to shut up and come to his place. I am not going to go to his parents' house and live with all of them again. But now you'll be able to be the wife of a soon-to-be CEO, right? You'll live the life of a rich person, so what's so bad about that? What about their life means I'll live like a rich person? They're telling me they'll only give me a little bit of money each month. And Kurt's told me that once his parents are too old to care for themselves, I will have to step in and care for the both of them. I do not want to live the life as some old people's caretaker. Oh my, I guess Kurt is going to be pretty strict about things this time. He told me back when he wanted me to get back together with him after we married, I wouldn't have to do a thing besides sit back and relax. I think he's still upset with me after I lied to him about being pregnant. So he told me that the only reason he married me is to get the company from his parents and that there's no love in it. I really messed up thinking that he loved me as much as he did back then. Because now he's going to ruin my life by being so cruel to me. Oh my, oh my. Please, Paige, can you come and help me? I really want to divorce him now and get away from this hellhole. You think I'm going to listen to your cries for help? You and I have been far from one another for a long time now, and I still haven't said that I'm done having cut ties with you. I'll apologize for everything I did to you before. I'm so sorry for being a jerk to you all your life. Just think about it as me being really jealous of you this whole time, okay? I mean, you had lots of friends, you studied for all your classes, and you could play all kinds of sports. I think I was just wanting to be so much more like you that I started to bully you in some ways. But I will never do anything like those things to you again, so forgive me, please. No frickin' way. What? After hearing what you just said to me, I'm actually starting to hate you even more. I have taken such good care of all my friends, and I made sure to actually put time into both sports and school so that I'd be a really successful woman. But in your case, you never bothered to fix that selfish attitude of yours, and always told Mom and Dad that studying and sports were stupid and that you didn't want to try. So you're going to tell me now that you were jealous of all that stuff, even though you said it was all stupid before? I'm not going to forgive a single thing that you've done to me. I'm sorry about that. But this time I've really learned that what I did was not all right. Have fun living in the hell you've asked for. Since I'm upholding my end of me cutting ties to you, I'm not going to be celebrating this wedding. So have a great life. Kurt went ahead and took Alyssa with him back to his parents' house. But when he brought her home with him, his parents said that they didn't want him to be getting remarried to the woman he'd just divorced and were furious with him. His dad even went ahead and told him that all of the company's customers knew about how Kurt and Alyssa's relationship went last time and that it's put a strain on the company's image. And then proceeded to tell Kurt that he would not allow such a waste to be the next CEO of his company. So right then and there, Kurt's parents kicked him and Alyssa out of their house for good. Kurt began to freak out, saying that they didn't follow the promise they made to him while standing in their front yard. He even went to the company and started to make a big deal about his dad's choice. And all the employees that walked into work that day told him they'd never work for a man that thought it was okay to cheat on his girlfriend with her little sister and then marry said sister. They even began to ask if he'd be able to pay them all when the time came that the company began to fail if he became their CEO. So many of the employees began digging into Kurt that he ran away from the place bawling his eyes out. Unfortunately for Alyssa, she can't find a way to run away from Kurt. And so as of right now, they're both having to work part-time jobs in the city and live in a small and old apartment where they barely make enough to afford it. But with this marriage, they won't even speak a word to one another, and I'd have to say it seems like the most quiet marriage in the world at the moment.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Sandra. I'm asking you to give it up acting like you can live such a sloppy life as that. You had the lights in your room on all night long. Huh? This whole week, you've been in your room all day, and we'll be awake all night long with the lights on until 3 in the morning. Staying up that late every single night not doing anything is sloppy. You are too old now to be living the life of a night owl. Now, you stop locking yourself in that room all the time and get your crap together and start living like an adult. You're telling me that this whole week you've been waking up at 3 in the morning to look at my room? I have not just been waking up only to look at your room, you idiot. I've just been coming to see what's going on with you, all right? Huh? What's going on with me? I need to make sure that you are changing into a proper adult, and that requires me checking up on you to see if you're getting your sleep or not. But you've always been in your room with the lights on. And whenever you do come out of there during the day, I take a look in there and see the room is a complete mess. I'm asking you right now to give that terrible life up and go find a proper job that will get you out of this house. But I've told you before that I am working a job right now. I've explained to you so many times now what it means to be a remote worker and that I can work from my bedroom. What do you mean, remote worker? All you do is sit on that laptop making minimum wage every day. Do you get it? That kind of work isn't work at all. All you're doing is sitting in your room all day long doing absolutely nothing. Not again with you saying that about me. If you can't understand the work I do, then that's fine. Just leave me alone and let me get my work done that needs to get done, please. I am not going to let you sit in that room rotting away. You have to become a responsible adult at some point. Your mom and dad aren't going to be there to help you along forever, right? If they pass away and you're still not able to care for yourself, then that means I'll be the one forced to step in and care for you. I do not want a life like that, so that's why I'm trying to help you out now. I'm telling you right now that things won't end up that way, so you can relax now. I don't even plan on having you guys help me out at all in the future, just like things are now. I'm sure you're just saying that. I'm going to make sure that you end up as a proper adult if that's the last thing I have to do. I want you out in the real world working a real job, or so help me. So this won't be the last time I comment on your lifestyle right now, and the comments won't stop coming until you become an adult. Can you guys please stop all of this, Bart? I am tired of having your wife come at me all the time about the life I'm living right now. All of the comments are completely unwanted, and I just want to live life the way I like it. This is Mom and Dad's house as well, so she has no reason to be complaining like that.
You have to be kidding. She's getting on you again? What happened this time?
Normally, I'm to bed pretty early when it comes to my average week. But this week, I've been up until 3 in the morning getting some work done that desperately needs to be finished. However, she's now commenting on that, saying I shouldn't be such a night owl at my age. And she started calling my lifestyle sloppy and my room a mess.
What?
I've been keeping a lot of what she's been doing quiet from you, but I have to tell you now. Did you know that when I'll go out of the house from time to time, she'll watch me from the second-story window? She watches me as I leave the yard and will be watching me as I walk back in. And once I'm back inside, she'll tell me that if I'm going to the store to buy things for myself there, I should also try picking up some shifts there. And she'll say so to me like such a smart aleck.
Really?
And recently, she's been telling all the neighbors about how I'm some sort of shut-in who never leaves her bedroom. Because of that, whenever I go and take the trash out, they all give me cold stares. I think I've had enough of this, Bart.
Never thought she'd be taking all that so far. I'm so sorry, Sandra. I've been trying so hard to explain to Jane the kind of work you do for a living, but she never wants to listen to me about it.
Today, she told me that I'll probably make minimum wage with the work I'm doing now. I thought in this day and age it was a totally normal thing to work remotely, right? Yet, how could someone her age be so against believing in what it is?
I think things like remote work are only done by those that live in cities or more heavily populated areas. I'm thinking she doesn't understand how you're able to work remotely when we live in such a small countryside town. So that's led to her thinking that you're nothing more than a shut-in.
Wait. It's because we live all the way out here that I'm working remotely. We live in the 21st century now, where almost everyone has access to the internet, making it possible for me to work all the way out here.
I've tried to explain that to her. And I'll let her know that you're making enough money right now that you wouldn't have to worry about finances even if you lived on your own. But she said to me that since you're still living in the same house as Mum and Dad, you can't possibly be making that much. And that's why she's so hell-bent on believing that you're making minimum wage or perhaps less.
So she probably thinks I'm only making a couple $100 a month then. Which is strange since I'm making over $10,000 every month right now.
I don't want to go telling her how much you're making, because that might only make things worse. But maybe now would be the right thing to do, huh?
I'm sure no matter what we tell Jane, she's not going to believe us. She'd probably think it's all a lie right away, since nobody who lives out here is making $200,000 a year.
I'm sure that's true.
I think at this point, no matter what she's told, she's just going to continue calling me a shut-in. She wants to look like the perfect new wife in town to everyone. That's why she started lying to the neighbors about me now, right? She wants people thinking that she's so amazing as your wife that she's even willing to try and help me become an adult in her eyes.
I'm so sorry about what Jane's doing.
I don't really want you apologizing to me for what she's doing, Bart. Just from now on, I'd like for her to stop getting in the way of me and my work. It's because of her and her actions towards me that I've been having trouble focusing, and it's begun to set me back.
All right. I'll tell her to stay away from your room from now on, okay?
How's it going, Sandra? I'm sure you've noticed that your room is looking a whole lot better than it did before, right? Are you going to tell me that you've gone into my room again without my permission? Well, for a while now, I've been interested in that room of yours. I've been told by both your parents and by Bart now to not go near your room anymore. But when it comes to a shut-in like you in your room, it's like a pig in its sty in there. So I thought as your brother's wife, I should clean it up a little for you. If I'm not asking you to go in there, then please refrain from going near my room. Also, where are my things right now? I think you went past the point of just cleaning up my room, as there's literally nothing in here now. Anything that I thought I could make a little money off of, I sold. What? You sold it all? You even sold the laptop that was on my desk in here? Well, that thing being in your room was the main reason you'd never get out of there and get a job. So I took that useless piece of garbage and made some money off it. Now you'll finally be forced to leave your room and go out to find a real job. You have to be lying to me. Why the hell would you sell my work laptop like that? Also, I was told something by your mom. You are living in here with both your parents still, yet you never pay for rent or anything. Being the age you are now, it's not okay to take advantage of your parents like that. So I took all that money I made off your things and handed it to your parents as rent for all the years you've spent living here. There is no frickin' way all of this is happening to me. What the hell is wrong with you, Jane? You were told by everyone in this house to specifically not come near my room. And what's worse than you not even listening to anyone is the fact that you sold all of my things for work. I've had enough of this, all right? Huh? What things for work of yours did I sell? That laptop was only being used for gaming, and I know it, you lost cause of a shut-in. I told you, I'm not just some shut-in. How many more times am I going to have to tell you that? I've even given you my business card explaining to you who I am and what my job description is. If you still can't find a way to believe me even after I've shown you, then how about you give my company a call and ask? Then you could find out if I'm really working a so-called real job or not. There is nothing in it for me to waste my time calling them. And let's be honest, you really think someone like you is going to be working for a company based in New York City? And working remotely in this town? Oh, I don't even have any friends out here that believe you can work remotely in this town. Well, your friends had all better start believing it because I really am working remotely for that company. I was able to make it into a company like that because I gave it my all in school and worked for years to get into a position that allowed me to work from home. And for a while now, I've been living a happy life at home with my parents making lots of money working from my room. But now it's all been ruined by some know-it-all witch. I am not going to forgive you for any of this. Why are you getting so upset with me? You can't be getting that upset with me just because I sold your favorite gaming laptop. I guess this goes to show that you really were doing nothing but gaming while hiding away in that room. Huh? Let me keep telling you that no matter how much you cry and whine, this was all your fault because you never grew up and got a job. I'm totally in the right for selling all your things in order to pay your parents back. Well, then I'm selling this house. I cannot stand having you living in the same house as me. If you really cannot stand living with me to the point you'll sell all my things, then I'll take this one step further and sell the place. But when that happens, good luck to you and my brother because you won't have a place to live anymore. Now get all your things together and get out of here. Huh? What are you going on about now? You want to sell this house? You don't have any right to sell your parents' house. Don't you dare start saying such baseless crap just because you're upset with me. I do have the right to sell this place, though. This house is my house, after all. If anything, not even my parents have the right to sell this place. What? This house is yours, Sandra? When talking to my parents about moving back in with them, we decided to have a larger house built that would be more open for all of us. And when having this house built, I was the one to pay for it all. Yet after handing away all my money for a house like this and having my name on it, why do I have to be the one treated like crap by someone I let stay here? If this is how things are going to be, Jane, then this whole house is going away and I'll move somewhere else. Wait a second there. What the hell have you been going on about? Seriously. You said that this house is yours and that you paid for this whole house to be built? A shut-in should never have the ability to do something like that. That's why I've been telling you that I am not some shut-in. I am a woman making $200,000 a year. I make all that money just by sitting on my computer and working from home all day. And living out in the countryside means that someone like me making that kind of money can go all out building a house because the land and everything is cheaper. What? You're making $200,000 a year? Sandra, you're really making that much? You have heard about everything from my brother already. He told you that I'm making enough where if I lived on my own, I'd never have to worry about money. Yet you chose to think that I was only making a couple grand a year when really I'm making over $10,000 a month. And with a bonus added to that each year, I'm at $200,000. That's a lie. Living all the way out here, there's no way you're making that much. I knew that you'd never come around to believing me. Even now. But this is all the truth, and you'd better start understanding that right now. If you are still finding it so hard to believe me, then give that company a call that's on my business card. You can talk with them about all the work I'm doing and about how I'm working remotely right now, and about the kind of money I'm making in my position currently. But there's no way. At the start, I had planned on buying an older house and renovating it for my parents and I to move into. But then my brother heard about it and asked if you both could move in with us. So to make things better, I just had that older house torn down and had a brand new house built. What? My brother was fine moving into the renovated house with us before, but you wanted a larger place. Somewhere you could have kids and not have to worry about rooms and all that stuff. So you told him the only way you'd come back with him to live with his parents again was if there was a larger house involved. So there you go. That's why this brand new house was built using all my money. You had said that to him before, right? You wanted a larger house to live in if you were going to be moving in with his parents? Bart came to us instead of you, though, asking that we have a brand new house built, all so that you'd be allowed to move back in with my mom and dad. He explained to us that you guys didn't have the money either to help out with the new house, but said that by being with us, it would help out come time for you to have kids. He really wanted for you to be happy moving in with his parents, and this was the only way that could happen. But my parents and I accepted what he had said and changed the plans of renovating the house into building a brand new one. All because you wanted that. My parents were excited about the future where they could live with their grandkids, and I was happy to have you guys around with whatever cute kids you'd have. But back then I never thought that you'd be such a monster and subject me to so much hell while living in my house. Wait. This whole time, who did you think was paying for such a house as this? It couldn't have been my brother, and my parents don't have the money for it, so it's been me this whole time. That's why when you asked my mom if I was paying her any rent to stay here, she said no. I'm the one paying for everyone to live here. I made an agreement with my parents that if I were to pay for the place by myself, then I'd get to make the rules and not have to owe anything to anyone. So now, why do I have to have all my things sold and that money handed over to my parents as rent? No, wait, that was... The only reason I haven't made my brother pay for anything is because I'm a really nice little sister. I knew that you both had been thinking about kids, and I wanted you guys to save up for the future with them. So to save you guys, especially you, from being so stressed out, I told your husband no thank you when he offered to pay a part of the bills. Is that so? Yet even after all of this, I have the one woman I've been so nice to calling me a shut-in. You called me a lost cause as well, right? Even though I'm the one working as the breadwinner in this whole dang house? Everyone's even tried explaining my situation to you, but you just ignore all of that, instead telling the neighbors that I'm some sort of freeloading loser. I'm surprised it's taken me this long to finally reach my boiling point. Wait, Sandra. Now I'd like for you to get all your things together and start preparing for when you have to leave this house. But if you want some advice from me, maybe selling it all and using that money for a new house is a better idea. You already know how to sell things so easily, so you should be able to make some money off of all your things, no problem. So hurry it up, witch.
I'm so sorry, Sandra. I already heard about what's going on from Jane. I never thought things like this would turn out so bad for us. I promise that I will pay you back for all of those things of yours she sold. Jane has been saving up some money for a little while now, so I'll be using that money to pay you back. So please do not get too worked up over this.
Then I'll definitely be taking that money from you, but as for things with her, I just couldn't handle them anymore, so I'm going to ask that the both of you still move out of this house. I've already talked with Mom and Dad about my decision, and I am having this house sold.
What? You just had this place built not too long ago.
This is all because Jane went all around the neighborhood saying that I'm a shut-in and that I'm a lost cause. Even Mom and Dad have to deal with the embarrassment of all those lies now, so we have to get out of here. Especially now that they know the truth about how Jane had been lying and are now calling Mom and Dad idiots for letting something like that happen here.
Is that so?
Of course, I'm bringing Mom and Dad along with me to the new house I plan to buy, so don't worry about what'll happen to them. As of right now, they're both working hard to make sure we have a place to move into here really soon. They would like to live in a large apartment this next time around. Even possibly a condo or something if we really like to. They're going over all of that right now with the realtor.
I'll see. If both you and Mum and Dad are okay with moving out, then I can't say anything against it.
I'm sure having to deal with Jane after this by yourself is going to be a real pain, but do your best not to go insane.
Sure. I'll try my best with her. Actually, this is the perfect time for me to bring up a divorce to her. I plan to make her responsible for all that's happened, as she is, and then get her kicked out of this family.
What? You plan to get a divorce now, Bart?
Actually, it's because of her that there's been some trouble for me at work. I've kept this all of a secret from you all, but I'm actually at my limits with her as well. I'm going to use you being upset with her as cover. Make that my get-out plan from this marriage.
She's caused trouble for you at work as well? What the hell did she do to you there?
When things have calmed down a bit, I'll tell you. For right now, I need to get to kicking her out of this house. I plan to be out of this house myself sometime this week. So she needs to get out.
What am I going to do, Sandra? I was just told by Bart that he wants to get a divorce. He told me he can't stand me anymore. He said that I've gone and ruined things for his family and for his career, so he doesn't need me anymore. I heard from him that you went and did something to cause him some trouble at work. I didn't do anything to him, though. I was just being his wife and was trying to get close with all of the people in the neighborhood. And, well, while talking to them, I started to talk about the kind of work that he's been up to. But how does me just saying a few things about his work land me in the position of getting a divorce? Well, you had to have done something pretty bad for him to want a divorce, right? How the hell did you talk about his work that led to there being trouble for him? I just said that my husband happens to be a hairstylist. I said that he studied at a school in New York City and then moved back to this town to work. So I asked all those people to please go and give him a try and see how well he does. I said that if they gave him my name and said that I sent them, he'd do all sorts of things for them. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. Telling them that they'd receive all kinds of things from him without even asking him first? Huh? What's so wrong with me doing something like that? I was trying to be a good wife by giving him a lot of customers and making friends. And when it comes to Bart, he's so good that he's even able to cut your dad's hair. When it comes to cutting hair, I think he needs to be better than just cutting my dad's hair. My dad barely has any in the first place, so I think you're overestimating Bart a little too much. And using that as your reasoning for Bart treating those people to extra things is just not okay. But... From what I've heard, Bart has had to give around 100 free haircuts to people from all over town because of you. You think him losing that much money is something you can call supporting him? What? I didn't know that. That is all because you said he'd give them some special things if they said that you were the one that recommended them. Some of the customers were so upset with him that if he wasn't going to give them a haircut for free, they'd report him for scamming them. Bart has said that pretty much everyone in town got a free haircut from him and that there will only be more people coming. All because of that, your husband hasn't been making any money now. And worse than that, this has caused a lot of people to lose faith in him. No way! And if you didn't think your causing troubles for him at work wasn't enough, don't forget about what you've done to me. After having labeled me as a shut-in and doubted my work for so long, Bart has been trying to get the both of you out of here. He's been trying to save up for a place the both of you can enjoy, but you've gone and ruined most of his business, and now he doesn't have the money to. And just recently, you went and took all of the things out of my room and sold them, including the things I use for work. I think it's fair to say that you had this coming, and him wanting a divorce is totally warranted. I was just trying to be a good wife. I wanted to make sure that your parents loved me as well since I've been living with them. I wanted to get their shut-in daughter to find a job, and I wanted to support my husband's business. And I wanted everyone in this town to know who I am and what I stood for. Well, then go and ask all those people you've been trying to gain respect from what they really think of you. Ask them if it was really okay to call your sister-in-law shut-in and lost cause when she's making $200,000 a year. And ask if it was the right decision to sell all my things and give the money to my parents as rent. And don't forget to ask them if it was right to ruin your husband's business in order to get everyone free haircuts. I really want you to ask them all if they think what you've been doing has made you a great wife. But that's... I can see that you really want to become a great wife for my family, but everything you've done so far has been a total miss. And you're making fun of your sister-in-law over something you couldn't comprehend has turned you into a monster. I get that life is so hard for you when you get to move into a house for free and not work a job, but try a little harder next time thinking about what the hell you're doing to everyone around you before acting. But I want everyone to see me as the good wife I really am. I don't have a whole lot of friends either, and I wanted to make plenty here. If that's really what you wanted, then next time don't ruin other people's lives for it. Now I hope you enjoy the next stage of your life as a wife that's coming. Goodbye. Jane started to really freak out about what was going to happen to her and started asking those in the neighborhood to help her. But when they said that she lied about all the service her husband would offer them, they made sure she knew that they couldn't help her out. And so soon after that, the divorce between my brother and her happened. When I went and put up the house for sale, Jane's parents ended up coming to the open house to apologize for what their brainless daughter had done, before saying they'd buy the house from me. They then moved into it with their daughter, but the whole time that they lived there, they scolded her about she never threw out the garbage, or about how she would never turn off any lights in the house, which always ended with them saying that it was no wonder Bart wanted to divorce her. After the divorce, my brother took advantage of being single again and started to put more time into his job. He would tell all of his customers that were sent to him by Jane that he would give them free service this time, but that the next time they came, they would have to pay. And would also apologize to them for the lies that Jane told them about the offer in the first place. And after about a month of having to do that, he started to have people showing up again for their second cut and paid him for his work and time. As for my parents and I, we ended up moving to a seaside town where we could be by sandy beach at all times. And the three of us are all enjoying this condo we bought while relaxing in the sun.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.